the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you today? Welcome to another edition of Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, coming to you coast to coast. Why? Because look at that. I just looked up. I got a new ring light. Can you tell? Look at my glasses. I got a new ring light here working. Unfortunately, it's created a little more of a halo effect on top, so I don't know why that's happening. It didn't have that yesterday, but that's okay. Thank you for tuning in and making me part of your Saturday. It is 11 a.m. here, Virginia Beach time, which means it's, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Man, I hate that background. John, pop in there, man. I need some suggestions with this background thing. I don't know what's happening there. John Stiles joins me from what is going on with my background today? I've never had this.
What I would suggest, Aaron, is if you go off screen and just leave the background there, and then we'll just do a voiceover in this.
Oh, okay. I can do that. That's fine. That's fine. How about we go with this one? Let's see. Is that any better?
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's better because then the white doesn't show up as much there. So.
Oh, really? I don't. Yeah, sheesh. All right. Well, whatever it is, we'll deal with it. Thank you for joining me today. If you're watching us on Facebook, of course, right here on the Aaron's Hour Show page, you can watch us on the WWDB TV Las Vegas page. By the way, if you like YouTube, that's okay too. We can do that as well. Make sure you check us out on the Aaron's Hour Show YouTube channel or the WWDB TV YouTube channel. And of course, in a couple of days, hey, if you love streaming on good old-fashioned streaming services, Roku, ROKU, download it to your TV or tablet or whatever your computer equipment is. You can then make sure you search for the WWDB TV channel because you will then be able to get all the channels and shows that are available. The plethora of options you have on the WWDB TV Roku channel are plentiful. Not only all of my shows, but all the great shows that are here on the WWDB TV network. You know, that thing over, I'm going to see if this works, John. I'm going to change. What if we do this? See, if everybody will get to see my real background, what if I blur? Is that anybody? I don't like this at all. Anyway, I know it's stupid. What about, oh, that's even worse. Another brick in the wall? No, that's bad. I am not liking this. Oh, but I know what it is. I found it. There it is. It's that little shine on the back of the door. That's what that is. We'll have to work on that during the break now that I know what that is. There you go. That's why we should be testing these things before we go on the air. Anyway, hope everybody's had a great week. First and foremost, to anybody and everybody who is affected by the devastation of Hurricane Helene that went up the coast this past week. Thoughts and prayers go out there. If you would like to participate and donate and help support, good morning in Nilson. How are you? Long time no see. Thank you for checking in. We appreciate it. If you watched Kiwanis Connects yesterday, or if you didn't, I encourage you to do so because there are ways that you can support helping those in need out there with donations. There are companies that are getting ready to drive out there. But thoughts and prayers to everybody affected. I was out actually in Orlando last week. Just as the storm was about to hit, it came through Orlando. We were on the west side of where the storm track was. Saw a lot of rain and a lot of wind, just some local minor damage with trees and leaves and all sorts of stuff. But what was the last number I saw? Over 200 people lost their lives with the storm. Plus, they think that number is going to continue to rise as people are more and more discovered or found in some of the debris that's around. Also, I don't even know if power has been restored to everybody out there, but check out Kiwanis Connects. From yesterday, you can go over to Kiwanis Connect show page in 1 hour. Don't do it now, but in about an hour, you'll be able to check things out and think about a way that you can donate. Plus, I'm going to share some information about the Virginia Beach area that's doing something as well. But as always, let me check in with my good man, John. John, how was your week since we last met here, sir? Did you have a good week out there in Vegas?
I'm not allowed to discuss that on the air.
Oh, I see. I did not get a call from your parole officer this week, so I think all is fine.
Yeah, the statute of limitations hasn't run out yet, so I'll let you know. But no, I had a good week. Good. It's good. The weather's starting to get really nice here in Vegas, man. It was only 81 this morning coming in, so that's
only 81.
Yep, that's pretty cool, man.
That's going to be
that's time to. If it drops another 2 degrees, we are required by law here in Las Vegas to dig out all our long sleeve shirts and sweaters and
turn your heat on. Right, and turn the heat on.
Yeah,
we're supposed to get about a high of 77 or 78 today, so that's what we got. By the way, listen, folks, if you're interested in real estate, and in particular, if you're interested in the real estate market in Las Vegas, which we know has its ups and downs, but right now it's back on an upswing with growth and building, and things happen. And the Federal Reserve just cut the interest rate about a week or so ago. Joining me today, and we'll have him on officially after our first break. Mr. Sam Kirby, he's been a real estate agent and investor for a while now. He works for eXp Realty. He'll come on to talk about everything from what's happening there in Vegas to loan options, military relocation, all sorts of good stuff. I know Sam for a couple of years. He's a great guy, knows his stuff. So you want to make sure if you have any questions regarding the real estate market, you will not want to miss the show. And if you know anybody that is also wanting to get involved in real estate market in Las Vegas, then certainly you're going to want to pass this information on to them about Sam. All right, with that, it is time to start off our show as always, and that is with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
That's right, folks. Vegas Unwrapped 2.0. By the way, that in that entire introduction there, you see that we have our little clip in there about Ricky Cash. Now, I have to go off on a little tangent about Ricky only because of the fact his Mets this past week came from behind to beat the Milwaukee Brewers. Peter Alonso hit a 3-run homer in the top of the ninth. First time in history, if I'm not mistaken, that team down 2-0 in the top of the ninth comes back to win. So I know my buddy Ricky Cash and his wife Kimberly are all excited. Ricky, while you're up there, I know you're controlling things. So congrats to the Mets. By the way, while I was in Orlando, of course, the weather, I was out there because of a golf tournament that I was hired to MC, which, of course, the weather knocked it out. But we did have one good day, and that was on Saturday. My wife, God bless her, I'm married to my wife. It'll be 36 years come January. We've been together for almost 38, something like that. And I found out something new about my wife, John. Pop in here, because you know my wife pretty well. You've known her a long time as well. But I found out that my wife, and I think I shared this yesterday, my wife wanted to hunt gators as something on her bucket list.
Wow.
Does that surprise you?
Wait, that makes perfect sense.
Why?
Because what is her background?
Well, she's an educator.
That's correct. So she's dealing with young people and kids and, right?
But what would that have to do with hunting alligators?
Listen, if you can deal with kids all day for a whole day, alligators are chump change. I mean, that's like going out and catching bunny rabbits, man.
That's very true. And then at the end of those days, she comes home to me. Well, not anymore. She's retired.
Listen, if I was married to somebody that wanted to hunt alligators, I'd be scared to death, man.
Let me tell you, first call I made
would not mess with her.
First call I made was to my life insurance company. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So we went on those airboats. That's the boats with the big fans on the back. Let me tell you, that was first time on something like that. That was pretty cool. We didn't see a full-size alligator. We saw a baby alligator. Then we saw a little bit larger, older alligator that had a snake in its mouth that it was chomping on. We did not see any full-size alligators. But after we got done with that, then we were looking for silver. So it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. And so the guy we were talking with sent us to a place in Celebration, Florida. It was up in that area called Dezerland, D-E-Z-E-R land. And it was an old mall that was converted into like this indoor amusement park with bowling alleys and go-karts and bumper cars. But the guy who owns it, Michael Deezer, who lives in Florida, has 4,000 vehicles in his collection. And we're talking collectible cars from the 20s and the 30s and movies and cars. And you can take a VIP tour where they actually let you sit in a couple of the cars, and they had one room themed.
Here it comes.
Yep, they had one room themed the Batcave. So you were able to sit in the Ectomobile from Ghostbusters. We were able to sit in the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine van. We were able to sit in the DeLorean from Back to the Future. We were able to sit in a car from 007 James Bond lore. But then when they said the Batcave and you would be able to sit into a Batmobile, my world stopped and was complete right then and there because Adam West is my number one guy. And then this happened. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That car that I am sitting in is one of the vehicles from the 1964 series on TV. 100 episodes of Batman. That is one of the Batmobiles. And as I'm sitting in the car, I said to my wife, Eileen, and I said, too bad I didn't bring one of my cowls with me. And the senior lead tour guide, if you look to the right side of the picture, you'll see a cutout standing there of Adam West and just the right front tire and the passenger side of another Batmobile. That Batmobile was actually from the full-length motion picture that they did with Adam West and Burt Ward. I think that came out in 66, I believe. And sitting back there was a cowl. So he said to me, he says, take your hat and glasses off. I'll be right back. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? Comes in from behind with that cowl. He says, here, put this on. And let me tell you, John, and I share this, I didn't give a crap what size that cowl was. That was on my head. As you can tell, even the nose piece, this Jewish nose was a little bit bigger than Adam West's nose. But let me tell you, man, I squeezed into it to get this picture. And
that is a determined crime-fighting look on your face.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to get the bad guys.
That's right. How can you not get in the Batmobile, wear the cowl, and not look determined as a crime fighter? You know what I'm saying?
Aaron, the only thing that's missing from that, and I'm gonna have to work on this, is the soundtrack from the TV series.
So funny in this room, the Batcave, because they had the Bat Boat and they had the Bat Cycle. They had two of Michael Keaton's cars and they had a couple other cars there. They actually had the themes of all the Batman movies and the TV show playing in there. So as I got out of the car, just as I got out and started the Batman theme, the TV. So, ladies and gentlemen, I showed that picture to show you, in all sincerity, dreams of a young boy can come true. I was like 4 years old, 2 years, whatever it was when I started watching Batman, and I still love it today. And that right there, that is like the culmination of my life, John, the side of my marriage and my kids and the happiness that I have from all of that. That right there, as a matter of fact, if my wife is listening, my students, though, may be listening, that I just trained this morning, I want my coffin to be in the shape of the Batmobile. I think I just decided that.
Okay.
All right. So
there's somebody you can call locally here. Her name's Mary.
Oh, well, yep.
You need to talk to her. Yeah.
I absolutely have that.
She could make that happen for you.
I'm sure she can. All right. Let's get to some news regarding Las Vegas, shall we? I know Thanksgiving hasn't even hit us yet, but believe it or not, one story I have is about some New Year's Eve plans. But Saturday, October 12th, that's next week. By the way, happy Rosh Hashanah and Happy New Year to those celebrating the Jewish New Year. Next week is Yom Kippur, Friday night, and Saturday, the holiest of holidays. I tentatively have a guest scheduled for next Saturday, but it is Yom Kippur, and I haven't decided. I may end up rerunning a show, or because I have to be in synagogue, so we'll see. But anyway, next Saturday is the return of the Wine and Food Experience. Returns to Las Vegas that day. This is put on by USA Today. It will take place from 1 to 4 p.m. at Llama Lot in downtown Las Vegas. Some local vendors participating are going to include Crab Corner of Maryland, love them, Crab Corner Maryland Seafood House, California Fish Grill, and Evil Pie. So they're going to be down there. Limited tickets are available for purchase. So if you are interested and need to buy tickets, go to the following website, wineandfood.usatoday.com, and get your tickets. That is next Saturday, the 12th. So that sounds like it should be a good event next week. Now, let's talk about a new event called Complex Con. Not like Vegas doesn't have enough conventions and shows that go on there that people come in from all over the world. However, Complex Con is a show that's going to bring in maybe about 60,000 visitors November 16th and 17th. This is a merger of fashion, music, art, and food. Originally started in California, actually, is where it originated from. This is put on by Travis Scott. He is a singer, rap singer, so it mixes fashion, music, art, and food. Started in Long Beach in 2016. Will be at the Las Vegas Convention Center's West Hall with, as I said, rap star Travis Scott. He's a Sunday night headliner and events artistic director. Playboy Cardi and Opium are also among the November 16th superstars. Scott is bringing his Cactus Con label to Complex Con for the first time. That's his apparel brand. It'll also be a retail bonanza for many ticket holders because this is something that they're talking about is going to cover 1 million square feet of space for this show. So mark that down. You're going to need some definite walking shoes to be available for this November 16th and 17th. Again, you can check them out online by simply looking up Complex Con, COMPLEXCON. Now, with Halloween not even here yet, Thanksgiving's not even here yet, how's some early plans for New Year's? Well, the American rock band Creed has already signed on. Will be making their grand return to the Las Vegas Strip to help ring in the new year. They announced that they will be at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. They're going to be there from the shows are scheduled for Monday, December 30th and Tuesday, December 31st. The show marks the band's first time performing on the Strip in more than 12 years. Pre-sales will start on the 5th, this upcoming Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Tickets go on sale to the general public starting Wednesday the 9th at 10 a.m. on Ticketmaster. Now, some Virginia Beach news. Here we go. Lottery player trying to take a nap is jolted awake with a win in Virginia. The winner says it doesn't feel real. And that's right. Well, if you're sleeping, there you have it. This winner, she was preparing to take a quick nap and decided to unwind by playing some Virginia lottery games online. She won this. The Virginia Lottery wrote on October 3rd, but there was no nap to be had. Why? The woman won $442,227. The lady thought, am I awake? This isn't real. Her name is Tina Evans. She told lottery officials it still doesn't seem well. She hit the jackpot after only betting 10. In order to participate, you have to bet a minimum of 10 cents or more. They did not say how much she spent, but not bad if she only spent 10 cents. This is not the first time a lottery player has bought a lottery ticket on their day off. Recently in North Carolina, another woman played the lottery and celebrated an emotional win back in 2023. So, John, maybe the clue is take a day off from work, and then we'll hit the lottery. Here locally, if you're looking for work.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. If you're looking for work, Publix supermarkets here in Virginia Beach, they're opening up a new store here on Red Mill Road, Virginia. That's at Hickam Place. They have started hiring for the store's planned opening. That'll be opening up later on this quarter, later on before the end of the year. They're looking for people in all departments: bakery, deli, grocery, meat, seafood, produce. Positions also include stocking, meat cutters, cake decorators, bakers, and more. Let's see. Today, this weekend actually, all of Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., you need to go to the DoubleTree Hotel near the Convention Center, which is located at 1900 Pavilion Drive here in Virginia Beach. But you must go online and you must fill out a job application first. Go to storeJobApplication.Publix, and that's Publix.com to fill out that application. Holiday Lights will be returning to Virginia Beach for the first time for returns for the 30th anniversary. A lot like they do in Las Vegas, where they have the light displays out at the Speedway and things like that. Well, Holiday Lights at the Beach will return to Virginia Beach Boardwalk in November to kick off the anniversary, to kick off the holiday season. This is the event's 30th anniversary, so they have a special. The first 300 tickets sold on opening night will only have to pay $5 to get in. This is a throwback to the price of the very first show some 30 years ago. This is put on by Bayport Credit Union. The family-friendly event is open nightly between Friday, November 15th and Tuesday, December 31st from 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, if you're a cyclist, you get to get a first look at the light show on Tuesday, November 14th from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Participants will enter the show at the 2nd Street, pedal north through the lights, turn around, return back on the bike path. Holiday Lights' first night hike offers the community one last chance to see the lights up close by walking through the display on New Year's Day. So it actually goes through January 1st. There are different admission prices for vehicle, $25 Monday through Thursday, $30 on the weekend, and there's more. So visit beacheventsvb.com for all your ticket prices. There will be an additional $10 charge for tickets purchased at the box office, so buy your tickets in advance. Last but not least, locally, if you want to help those affected by Hurricane Helene, and I know I'm running behind, folks, I apologize, and Sam is waiting patiently in the internet green room. Smiley's Heating and Cooling, Mercy Chefs, and Harbor Park are partnering with Wavy TV, which is a Fox affiliate, to help those impacted by Hurricane Helene. They are taking donations. They have at Harbor Park, a bus will be collecting donations October 8th through the 10th. So coming up this upcoming week locally, you can check them out. Smiley's HVAC will deliver the donations ready to deliver. They have a fleet of some 60 vehicles that'll be on its way down to North Carolina. So get over to Harbor Park between the 8th and the 10th for your donations. They're looking for everything from toiletries to food to diapers to hand wipes, whatever you can do, clothes, especially jackets for kids. All that's needed to get down there. All right. With that, we're done with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0. We are about to take our first break. And on the other side, my guest, Sam Kirby from Las Vegas. He's going to shed the light on as much as he can about the Las Vegas real estate market. You don't want to miss it. 702-992-3207 is the number for any questions. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you feeling overwhelmed or stressed? Remember to take a moment for your mental health. At the Mental Health Moment, we believe in the power of self-care and community support. Our mission is to encourage and empower individuals across generations to prioritize their mental well-being. Our program called CARE takes you through community, awareness, resources, and education so we can support you every step of the way. Join us at the Mental Health Moment. Visit our website or follow us on social media because your mental health matters. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Aaron Zauer. Joining me now with that great smiling face, a man I've known for a couple of years from Las Vegas. He is a veteran of our armed forces in the Air Force, but more importantly, he's a good human being and knows his stuff about the Las Vegas real estate. Sam Kirby joins me. Mr. Sam, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great this morning. Thank you for having me on on Aaron's Hour. I'm super excited to be here. And I must say, the Batmobile picture that you had was amazing. I used to actually watch that Batman myself. So
hey, I'm not the only one. Listen, I hope someday you come out to Virginia Beach. You'll pay me a visit. You'll love my studio here. I've got all my Batmans. Listen, I turned to my wife and I said, I'm 60 years old. Is it still okay to be cool about Adam West Batman? You know, I mean, the funny thing is, some of the people on this backlot tour with us was really cool because one guy was really looking forward to the DeLorean, like I was looking forward to the Batman. So everybody had their niche, and I was like, guys, I'm fangirling out over the Batman. I had Batmobile and everything. They're like, don't worry about it. We got you, dude. We got you covered. I figure there's worse things you can get into than Batman, right? I mean, that's
exactly.
But I can continue to die a happier man now that I've touched a Batmobile. And I actually held up the Bat phone. I didn't do it with the cowl on, and I should have. But the tour guy said, pick up the Bat phone, pick up the Bat phone. And I did. I was pushing buttons and levers. It was crazy. Anyway, but I'm glad you can appreciate that. Thank you for joining me today. I know it's a little early out there in Vegas land. I'm still getting used to the time adjustments. But hey, as a real estate guy, you almost have to be on call 24/7 anyway, right?
For sure. Yeah, I pretty much answer my phone like the whole time I'm awake. So as long as I'm awake, so people can call me and eat and message me.
There you go. Now I have to digress because I'm totally in respect and awe of your background there, of all those medals and pictures. I mean, are all those medals yours? And is that your stuff?
Yeah. So these over here, these are all of like my name patches from back in the day. So it was like my actual name, my name, and then it has like my call sign, which is Puddin. This is B52.
Wait. Did you say Puddin?
Yeah, Puddin.
Okay,
but we never tell people why.
I love it. I actually love it. But go ahead. I'm sorry. So I wanted to make sure.
So that's a B-52 up there, and then there's an F-16 that I was in the F-16 squadron as well. And then down here, right here, this is all the patches that I've worn as well.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for your service, and obviously well decorated for everything that you've done. All right, so let's talk about the real estate market. You've been in it for a while. What was your decision to get into real estate? Why real estate those years ago?
So actually, like real estate is like my third career, if you will. So I started off my career, as you can see, as in the military. Did 13 years in the military. I got out of the military in 2016, but in the military, I was also doing businesses. So I was also a network marketer. So I started with a network marketing company. And that's when I realized that I really had a passion for helping people and like really building things, big teams and building things, right? And so I moved to Vegas in 2016, and I went to this this group, and we started playing Cash Flow. I don't know if you ever played Cash Flow, which is a Robert Kiyosaki game, but basically it's like Monopoly, but it's more intense than Monopoly. And it kind of teaches you about investing and stuff. And so that's kind of where I started getting the investment bug. And so I became an investor. So I was a wholesale flipper at first. Okay. And that was a lot of work, like knocking on doors. Sure. I used to drive for dollars and see houses that looked like they hadn't been fixed in a long time, and look up the county records, find out who the owner is, and then call that person and try to put a deal together. Okay. And then one of my friends was like, "Hey, you ever thought about being a real estate agent?" And I was like, "No, I just didn't want to get a license." But at the time, it made sense. And so I decided to get my real estate license in 2019, and been basically doing real estate as both working with investors, new home buyers, first-time home buyers, vets, and everybody in between.
You know, I put this in your promo that I put up that you were coming on, and something you said in your bio. Now, I say this sort of tongue-in-cheek, but I know you're going to respect when I say this, because you and I have actually talked about this in the past. Real estate agents in Las Vegas are a dime a dozen. What the last number was? What, 14,000? I think. I don't know what the current number is, but there's a lot.
There's like 16. There's like 16,000, over 16,000.
So it's 16,000 now. Okay. So my question for somebody like you is, what separates you from the other 15,999? But I can kind of answer that because it's what I put in the promo. Because first of all, I don't think you needed to be in the military to be the kind of person that you are, in my personal opinion. Because you have integrity. We've chatted many times. We're friends. We found out we even work out at the same CrossFit box back there when I was back there. But you provide service excellence and integrity because of your discipline for your clientele. So to me, that screams customer service. So is that the biggest, besides your knowledge, would you say, your biggest asset that separates you from the pack of the other 15,900 plus agents? That's why people should reach out to you.
Yeah, so I think the couple biggest things that I bring to the market, or bring to the table, is I will bend over backwards to make sure that somebody is able to get their home, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm always happy to give people credits to help them get into a home. I answer my phone all the time. I know sometimes my wife gets mad at me because we're at dinner and I'm like, oh, I got to take this phone call, or I got to take this text.
That happens. But she's in the industry also. She's in the real estate industry, is she not?
Yeah, she's a lender. Yeah.
Right. So she kind of gets it. She kind of gets it. Right.
Yeah. But still, sometimes on date nights.
Sure. Oh yeah.
So I bring that, and then also I bring just a level of honesty and integrity, because I know a lot of people, not a lot of agents will just tell people what they want to hear because they want the deal, right? Sure. So when I'm talking to like sellers, for instance, I'll say, hey, how much do you think your house is worth? They'll give me a number, and then I'll show them pictures of like comps. We'll kind of go through that, and then I will say, here's what I think it is. We can kind of discuss why it's different. Mm-hmm. And normally the homes that I list end up selling faster than a lot of other people because I won't overprice a home. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my thing. And then obviously, like, I have a huge pipeline of military folks that come in from different bases. And so I still have my military flying like buddies that are all commanders and stuff, and they have people moving everywhere as well. So right. That's kind of my unique position, policy position.
And in Vegas, obviously, I mean, it's no secret, but in case somebody's living in a cave or under a rock, we have Nellis Air Force Base out there. One of the premier, Air Force bases in the country. They're always doing, practices and flyovers and all that stuff. So having those people in and out certainly make a whole lot of sense. But that's an important niche out there because of that. I mean, that's here with the base.
Yeah, so actually we have two bases. So we have Nellis Air Force Base, and we also have Creech. So Nellis is kind of on the northeast side of Vegas, and then Creech is about 40 miles north of Vegas out in the desert. And so the vast majority of people that work on either base live on like the northwest side of town. So,
gotcha. Okay.
And then also we have a huge amount of vets here through the VA.
Right.
Like we have one of the biggest VA hospitals here, and then there's clinics all over the city. So there's like, I think 80,000 vets here that
Wow,
get serviced by the VA.
I knew it was a big number. I didn't realize 80,000, but I am familiar with the big VA hospital up there in 215. A friend of mine, I helped drive him up there when he needed. So definitely it is a veteran community because of all of those resources that are there. All right, let's talk about the Vegas market. Now, when I moved out there 27 years ago, there was a population of about 500,000. The city west didn't go really much further than Wallapai, maybe, at that point. So suffice it to say, there's been some changes. I think the latest number when we left was like, 2.3, 4 million people. Market we know has gone up and down. We know it took a little bump in 2008, but the character, and of course, after the pandemic, characterized for me and for my viewers and listeners around the world, what's the Las Vegas real estate market like today?
Okay. So just kind of give a little bit of background. The average home price in Vegas right around the pandemic, pre-pandemic, was about $305,000.
Okay.
As of Monday of this week, which is I think October 5th, right? So that would have been like the 31st of September. The average home sales price was $479,000.
Wow.
So that means that on average, in about 4 years, every home has increased in value about 173,000 ish, around that, right? So during the pandemic, there was a lot of movement in the market. There was a lot of buyers, not a lot of sellers. So inventory is still pretty low. We still have that same thing here. What they tried to do with the interest rates is kind of bump up the interest rates to kind of slow down the housing market and hopefully bring down the home prices. The only thing is it didn't really bring down the home prices. It just slowed the rate of increase.
Okay.
So the home prices are still going up, right? But it's just that they're not.
Didn't the federal government just cut the interest rate?
They did, but the federal government interest rates and the mortgage interest rates aren't exactly the same. Kind of the way that it works with the mortgage interest rates is that mortgage interest rates kind of they kind of bet on the future, if you will, of what the Fed is going to do. And so on Friday, which is yesterday, they had the jobs report. And so the jobs report was a little bit hotter than what they expected. So the mortgage rates actually went up yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Because
more people working. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So more people working. So I know that like the odds of them lowering the interest rates another 0.5 point is a lot lower right now. So, but going back to kind of what's happening with buyers is that there's still buyers. Buyers still want to buy houses. The rates are at the lowest that they've been since like last year. And we still have a shortage of inventory, right? So right now, a healthy market is about 4 to 6 months. Right now, we have just under 4 months, I think 15 weeks of inventory. So it's starting to kind of become an even market. One of the cool things that you are seeing, though, with buyers is that buyers are getting a lot of concessions. So back in 2020 and 2021, when the housing market was kind of going like this, people were paying way more than appraised value for houses. But now what's happening is that they're not paying above appraised value. A lot of the sellers are offering concessions. Like I've had sellers giving $10,000, $12,000 to buyers to help buy down their rates. They're actually fixing stuff on the request for repairs, which normally they don't. And sometimes they're even taking lower. They're even taking like lower offers. So
could that side of it be more? I don't want to say desperation, but I'll use it for the seller, or more motivation to sell because of situational, where if you have a seller who maybe wants to sell their house, but really doesn't need to sell the house, they can sit for as long as they want. Whereas if you have motivated sellers that because of a job move or this or that or whatever, they're going to end up needing to give those concessions to sell the house quicker than they thought than they wanted to.
Yeah. And I mean, most sellers right now, they're willing to work, right? Because they want to get the house sold. Even if they're not in like a need, even if they're like in like a need to sell position, they still want to sell, right?
Sure.
And so if you only have one offer and your offer is asking for it's a good offer and it's asking for concessions, why not take it?
Sure, as long as it's workable for you. So
Yeah.
the inventory situation that you shared about, is that current housing, or does that include new inventory, or is that completely separate, like new homes being built?
So it just takes into account what's on the MLS. So that's only for resales. New builds, that's a little bit different. But there's more inventory with new builds than there was also with it back in 2020. So,
okay. All right. So that is still happening too, as far as the new build construction is starting to pick back up then, right?
Yeah. I actually live on the very, very northwest side of town, and they're building multiple communities around us. So
sooner or later, they're going to run into them mountains, and the BLM is going to have a big fight about not touching the mountains or something out there, right?
Exactly. I think they're trying to go all the way up to like the Paiute Reservation. That's what it's looking like. Because I mean, there's houses. They just built a KB Homes community on the north side of Kyle Canyon Road. So that's kind of telling you how far we are.
Oh yeah, wow, up on past Kyle Canyon. Jeez Louise. Okay, so real quickly before I forget, let's give out some contact information. What's the best way people can get a hold of you, find you, to talk to you with whatever plans they may have?
Yeah, so you can send me an email. My email is samuel.kirby@exprealty.com. Phone number is 206-579-6708. And you can check me out on Instagram. It's Sam Kirby _realtor, and that's CURBY. It's my last name. And those are probably the easiest ways to get in touch with me.
Worst case scenario, ladies and gentlemen, if you forget all of that and you don't go back to a previous recording of the show, either on Facebook or YouTube or Roku, then just message me through my Facebook, and I'll be able to get you guys connected with Sam as well. All right, cool. So let's talk about the market now. So what are you seeing now? We've got home buyers. You mentioned new first-time buyers. What do you got going on for new home buyers for the first time?
So there's a couple of programs that my lenders, which my wife, that they run. So they do have down payment assistance programs that are for first-time home buyers. Also, a lot of the new builds for first-time home buyers, they give them credits. And then normally for me, for first-time home buyers, I'll pay for your inspection. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. What I want to do right now is I'm going to throw a curveball out at you. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that have nothing to do with real estate. So I hope you're prepared for a little curveball here, purposely. Yes. So these are my goofball, like, just let's learn more about Sam as a person than the real estate agent. So there's no right or wrong answer unless you give an answer that your wife doesn't believe. Then that's your problem. Who's your favorite actor of all time?
My favorite actor of all time.
Yes, the male persuasion actor.
Male, okay. Probably Leonardo DiCaprio, or probably Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay. Favorite female actress. Favorite actress.
Female actress. Oh, Halle Berry.
Notice, ladies and gentlemen, how much quicker that name came out than Leonardo DiCaprio. In the cat suit or not in the cat suit?
Sorry. Definitely in the cat suit.
Right. Of course. That was a trick question. Favorite all-time movie, so that when it comes on whatever network you're watching, you grab your. All right. Go ahead. What is it?
Absolute best movie ever. Interstellar, hands down. Love that movie. You've never watched it. You don't tell me you've never seen Interstellar.
No. I'm just trying. Is that the one? Was that Sandra Bullock's movie, Interstellar?
No. This is the movie with Matthew McConaughey, where he goes into space and it's not only visually. What's that?
It was like a whole nother universe. He comes in someone's closet towards the end or something.
Yeah. Just the way that Christopher Nolan put that movie together it's beautiful. I love Christopher Nolan movies. So.
Oh, I did see that one. All right, what's your favorite music genre?
Well, it's a toss-up between rock and EDM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question before we go to break. So you're in your car, which I know you're a lot in as a real estate agent. You're driving around town. You come to a red light. Your all-time favorite song pops on the radio. You don't care that people are looking in and you may look like you're having an issue as you're doing your own karaoke in the car. What song is that you're bebopping to in your car that you're doing your own karaoke for?
Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine.
Okay, love it. All right, we're going to step aside for our last break of the show. As you're watching, you see we have Sam's email address on the scroll at the bottom. We'll play that throughout the rest of the show so people can jot that down and give him a call. I've got more questions about the real estate market, maybe a few more screwball questions for him before we say goodbye. Don't go anywhere. More with Sam in the Las Vegas real estate market right after this.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Hi, my name is Edgar Alejandro. I'm the co-founder of Rising Again Productions. So we've been here in Vegas producing films for the past couple of years, and we've seen our fair share of studios. We worked in our fair share of studios, and to be honest, WWDB TV has been our favorite by far. John is so welcoming. The space is wonderful. It's perfect for what we need. We've had rehearsals here. We've had callbacks here. We've had table reads here. So if you're a Vegas creative, or really just a creative coming into Vegas, definitely check out this space. Chat with John. I think you'll find that this studio has everything that you'll need as well.
All right, welcome back. I want to remind everybody that today's show is also brought to you by the Mental Health Moment, mentalhealthmoment.org. You know, with everything going on with Hurricane Helene, everyday stressors in life, things like that, check out the mentalhealthmoment.org. Boatload of resources to help you get through your day, stress reliever, etc. Tell Melissa Atwell that you heard about them here on Aaron's Hour, and she would love it. All right, Sam Kirby joins me. He is a real estate agent extraordinaire for eXp Realty. His email address will be back up on the scroll, but it's Samuel Kirby. That's with a C, folks, not a K. Samuel.Kirby@exprealty.com. Drop him a line if you have any questions, interest. If you know of somebody that's looking for property here in Vegas, he is the man. Trust me when I tell you that. You know why? Because he's full of integrity, and there's no ointment for that. That's something you want to keep is integrity. That's right.
Exactly.
We talked about investors before. And Vegas has always been one of those towns where investors like to come in to buy property. Are you still seeing a heavy load of investment purchasing versus actual home ownership? Where's the investment relation nowadays?
So we were seeing a lot of like the big iBuyers. So like the Open Doors, the OfferPads, even Zillow before that division went out of business, buying up a lot of houses.
Okay.
Now what we're seeing is it's more of local investors that are buying houses, doing the rehabs, and reselling them. So I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of been taken out of the big boys and kind of moved to like the local investors. And there's a lot of local investors that we have here, so it's really cool.
Okay. So local investors who are flipping the house to sell versus an investor coming in to buy a house to rent out.
Correct, but there are some here that do that as well. Some of my investors that I work with, some they'll buy and hold some, they will fix and flip some. It just kind of depends on the numbers that they get for that house and what works out best.
Okay, all right, so that's good. I'm glad that the houses are staying local, so to speak, in terms of, like you said, the local investors flipping them and making them available. Let's talk. There's something that about some new commission regulations or NAR rules. What is that all about? Let's talk about that. Share that, please.
Yeah, so I think I want to say the commission lawsuit started around like 2008, and the basically what happened is NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, they lost the commission lawsuit. Basically, what they were saying was that buyers agents and listing agents were in cahoots to make sure that everything was a 6% commission, right?
Okay.
So what NAR did is they settled with the winners, and they said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take the cooperative commission out of the MLS, and we're going to have the buyer's agents put it into the offer, basically, right?
Okay.
And so there's no offer of communicate or no offers of compensation. It's just whatever the buyer's agent is able to negotiate. And so I guess the thought process behind this was that we were going to have lower commissions, which actually is not really happening. So just kind of give you an idea is before we would see on the MLS, it would be a co-op of 2% or whatever, right? And there was no negotiation with that. But now what's happened is you put whatever commission you want into the MLS, and the owner will come back with some type of counter, or if they don't want a counter, they'll just give you whatever you ask for. So in actuality, I've actually seen agent commissions kind of go up versus go down.
I guess that's a good thing for you guys. If they're going up, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So we talk about, that Vegas is a big veteran community with the VA and the bases out there and everything else. We know VA loans are so important as a tool to help all veteran families. Is that correct? Right?
So one thing that I really, really try to communicate to other agents, especially listing agents that don't understand how the VA product works, is that no, even though somebody that has to put 0% down does not mean that they don't have any skin in the game. And a lot of people think that because they don't put anything down, they don't have any money into the game, so they can just leave whenever they want. But I'm like, well, these people, they have fought for the country. That was the skin in the game that they had, Yeah. And people, and also they think that the VA appraisals are always going to come back less. That's not true. A lot of times they come out just the same as conventional or even better. And basically just my whole job is just to basically share with the world of how good the VA loan is.
Well, that makes you an educator. I mean, you have to, people don't know. And if they don't know what they don't know. And sometimes they respond to things based on what they hear through hearsay. John, who is a veteran, I know just recently bought a house or moved into a new house. John, jump in there because you have experience with all of what we're just talking about, right, John?
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I had been struggling for a couple of years because of some credit issues that I had in the past. And I was lucky enough to stumble across an agent and a lender, a mortgage broker that worked with me I was eligible for a VA loan. I mean, I knew I was eligible for a VA loan, but I didn't think my credit was good enough, and it was. And so between the agent and the broker working together, they got me into basically what I could call the house of my dreams. I mean, I looked at a lot of houses, and if I had sat down and designed the one I was looking for, this was it. And so we made the offer, and it was turned down because somebody else made a better offer. And about 2 weeks later, they called back because the original offer had fell through, said, "Hey, are you still interested?" Hell yeah. So we went over, met, and make a long story short, the house was appraised at $23,000 over the asking price. And also the interest rate that I paid at the time was up there. And that kind of bothered me. But my broker let me know that, John, in 210 days as a veteran, you're eligible for an EARL, which is called it's a refinance for veterans.
Yes, interest rate reduction. That's what it is.
And So 210 days after I closed escrow, I filed, got my interest rate reduced, and interest rates have dropped again. And so on December 10th, I will be eligible for another reduction. So, I mean, the original one reduced my payments by $340, I think it was, a month. And
Wow.
if this one continues, we're watching the interest rates, of course, it could be another $300 or $400 drop in my payments. So, and I was not aware of that. And if it hadn't been for this broker and the agent, I mean, that's why people ask, well, why do I need a real estate agent? Can I just make an offer? Yeah, you can. But if you want the best deal that you can find, you need to find an agent that will work for you and will put out the effort. And as a veteran, it's not as easy as you think, but it's easier than you think, if you know what I mean. So
yes, yeah.
Anyway,
and I can tell you that.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Sam. Finish your thoughts.
No, I was going to say, I love just hearing stories of that, of like the veterans that get the house of their dreams. It just makes me have joy. You know what I mean? Because I know there's so many vets that don't know about the VA loan and just being able to get it out there. And one thing that you may not know is that the VA funding fee, if you have 10% or more disability through the VA, you don't pay the VA funding fee.
100% stable.
There you go. So you didn't pay a VA funding fee.
And that's what I mean. That's where your agent and a broker or whoever, the professionals involved can walk you through this. And I mean, and they were just awesome. I can't say enough about them because the interest rate hit me and I had to come up with more closing costs than we anticipated right at the last minute. And then, but then the real estate agent and the lender both, my agent kicked in part of her compensation, and the mortgage broker gave me a 0.5 point break on the interest rate. So, that's what made it affordable for me to be able to make the monthly payments. It took a little while to get caught up, but listen, I can't say enough about go find the professionals. There's some good ones out there. There's some assholes out there too, but you'll be able to tell. When we first started looking with this agent, we looked at a couple of houses, and I told her what we were looking for, and we looked at a couple, and I told her, nope, not this one. Yes, this one. No, not that one. And the next time we went out, everything that she showed us was exactly what we were looking for. There was no BS, no taking us over here, or well, hey, I know about this deal and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but it's not the kind of house I want. Okay, then let's go look at this. So, I can't say enough about it, man.
And I can tell you that first 210 days, he was counting down. Like he had little tick marks on his wall. He was like, Aaron, I got 99 days. Aaron, I got 94 days. Aaron, I could sit, so I can tell you he was on it. But yeah. And John did speak, and he's not fluffing because he spoke very highly of the process as much as he was frustrated with the rates, but spoke highly of the education he got and all the benefits that he was able to get. But thank you, John, for sharing that. We're down about 5 minutes left. And really the key with all of that, though, is you got to find somebody who's knowledgeable in the area. And that's why the people, folks, I'm entering this month marks 19 years that I've been doing what I do. And I've been blessed with a great audience and folks that follow my shows over the years. And the people that I bring on my shows, my audience knows that they're trusted authorities, so to speak, within the industry that I'm talking about. So when I bring a guy like Sam on, folks, rest assured, I'm presenting a gentleman here, A, that knows his stuff, B, he knows the ins and outs of something intricate like the military benefits and the VA stuff, in addition to everything that he does. And John is right. If I want my house painted, I'm not calling a plumber. I'm calling a painter. Yeah, I can paint it myself, but I'm going to get paint all over the place. I'm going to be bleeding all over. I'm going to have more cleanup work than I know what it's worth. And so I'm going to call the professionals. So John's comments are right. Sam Kirby, Samuel.Kirby at exprealty.com is there on the screen. If you want a phone number, Sam, give that phone number again, if you would, please.
Yeah, it's 206-579-6708.
All right. And folks, if you did not go, if you choose not to go back to watch any of the shows again, which I really do want to encourage you to do because you miss a lot if you don't, just message me through Facebook and I'll be happy to send you Sam's information so you can reach out to, in which case I get 0.5% on a percentage point of whatever referral. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Couple last questions, goofy stuff, and then we'll wrap up the real estate stuff. And then we're just about out of time already. Can you believe it? All right. So here's a question for you. If a story were to be made about your life, who would you like to see star as Sam Kirby in that movie?
Denzel Washington.
I could afford it because I didn't think Leonardo DiCaprio would have just the right ilk to play it. The funny thing is I actually get Denzel as an answer to that from a lot of guys when they come on because he's just such the macho guy.
Yeah.
And I loved Q. I love that movie Q where his son was in the hospital and ran out of funding. They needed that surgery, whatever. I love Denzel. If you were not doing real estate, what would you be doing? What would have been your other choice career? What would you like? Me, I would have been Batman, obviously. But what would you have been?
Bruce Wayne. No.
That's it. Listen, that's okay too.
Yeah.
All right.
No. If I wasn't doing real estate, I would probably. So I have an MBA, so I would probably be doing something I'd probably be working for like Goldman Sachs doing trading. That was originally what I was going to do.
But that sounds that sounds boring in comparison to what you do now. I mean, geez.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't want to like just sit in the front of a computer all day. That would drive me insane.
No. I personally, for as long as I've known you, I can't see you doing that. You've got too much energy. You're too much of an outward guy to want to just be sitting behind a desk all day long. Jeez.
Yeah, that, and I hate wearing suits.
Well, Vegas, nobody wears suits anyway. Come on, now, let's be realistic. You know,
that's true. That's true.
Does anybody even really wear suits other than maybe attorneys when they go into the courtroom? What's your bucket list vacation location that you'd like to go to someday?
Oh, that's easy. So in Bora Bora, they have those floating huts that like you can literally like go fish. Well, yeah, the glass bottom ones, and you go fish like out the front door and stuff. That's what I would want to do. That's my bucket list.
Does your wife know that? Is she going with you?
Oh yeah, she's going with me. Oh yeah, for sure.
Listen, I after what I found about my wife wanting to go hunt alligators on her bucket list, I'm afraid to have to be careful nowadays.
Yeah.
What can I tell you? What's your all-time dream car that you would love to see parked in your driveway someday, assuming that you don't already have it? What would that be for you?
So okay, I have two dream cars. So number one is attainable. that's a BMW M3, right?
Okay.
I've always wanted an M3 as long as I could drive. I just love the sheer power. It's small and it just has a ton of power. Now that one's attainable. The one, my dream car that I don't think is attainable anytime soon is a Ferrari.
Okay.
So,
well, listen, I never thought I'd sit behind the wheel of a Batmobile, and that happened. So Ferrari could still happen.
Ferrari could definitely still happen.
You just never know. You just never know. All right, one final question, then I'll ask you to wrap up the real estate market. Here's the only serious question I'll ask in that stuff. When the day comes, and that's going to be many, many years down the road, that you, sir, are standing at the pearly gates, and the maitre d' is there to greet you to come into the pearly gates, what is it you'd like to hear the maitre d' say to you upon entering?
You lived a well and a faithful life.
There you go. Love it. Short and sweet and simple. All right. We have about 60 seconds. Take half of it and let's recap the real estate market in Las Vegas and why people should not call you per se, but what's happening in the market that people should be aware of.
Yeah. So what's happening in the market right now is obviously mortgage interest rates are lower than they have been in a very, very long time. So it is definitely for buyers. It's definitely a great opportunity to get into a house. For settlers, it's a great opportunity to get your house sold. So definitely a great time for both buyers and sellers. It's pretty much an even market. So.
There you go. And by the way, folks, one-stop shopping, he alluded to it earlier, but I'm going to say it. With his wife being in the lending side of the business, you got one-stop shopping if you work with Samuel and his wife is already there as the lender, one stop, they take care of everything from beginning to end. Sam, thank you for taking time with me today, my friend. It was great seeing you and chatting today. It's amazing how quickly the time went by.
It is. Thank you so much, Aaron. I appreciate having me on having me on your show today. It was fun.
You got it, my friend. Thank you very much. Everybody, listen, have a great week. I'll be back next week unless my wife says I can't because it's a Jewish holiday. Otherwise, I'll be back next week with new guests, new fun. Keep an eye on my social media platforms to know who that is. And as always, be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. Thoughts and prayers to everybody out affected by the Hurricane Helene again. We'll see you next time right here. Go Penn State against UCLA on Aaron's Hour. We'll be back next. Thank you, everybody.